Patrick Bet-David just dropped a bombshell about Caitlin Clark that's got everyone talking. He revealed some surprising stuff about her career that nobody really knew before. This news is totally shaking up how people view Clark and is making a lot of folks curious about what's really been going on behind the scenes.
You know what America loves? We absolutely love one thing. You know what it is? Underdogs. Caitlin Clark is an underdog.
What the market truly loves is an underdog story, where an unexpected competitor defies the odds and rises to prominence against all expectations.
You know what the market loves? So let me ask you. This is just to everybody, open-ended. Why do you think it's doing well? I think it's one word. I'm telling you. Why did the Tiger do well? And he brought all these eyeballs to golf. Why is Caitlin doing well?
Hype.
It's truly one word.
Hype.
I don't. Okay, so that's fine, but I don't think that's the main word for me. But let's say hype is one. Because, by the way, the reason why I don't think it's just hype, all-time scoring leader in Iowa, one person takes it to the finals. She loses, but they had nobody else. And she scored more points in college than Pistol Pete Maravich, who would be an interesting way. Yeah, so why do you think it's happening? It's one word to me, and it's underdog. By the way, you know when's the last time I watched a WNBA game? Never. Till today. I've still not watched a WNBA game. But do you know what I'm for? Do you know what I'm for? Let me tell you what I'm for. So Tiger Woods, he changed the game in golf, right? And I think he talked about Serena. Serena changed the game. Did you see the feedback Serena gave to Caitlin? Did you see what Serena told her? Serena told Caitlin Clark, I freaking love this, that there's no race involved. And Serena is black.
Here's what Serena Williams said to Caitlin Clark.
Okay, so here's what Serena Williams said to Caitlin Clark. No matter what other people do, if people are negative, then it's because they can't do what you do.
Bingo.
Good for you to say something like that, right? Hopefully she'll continue to do what she's doing. This is a GOAT. Clark's massive platform and impressive achievements. Clark's debuted the most watched game in 23 years with over 2.3 million viewers on ESPN and mentioning the new chapter flight policy due to security concerns about the megastar Clark. Think about this. 2.2 million, okay? WNBA, 2.2 million. Because of a white girl? You think it's because of a white girl? It's because she shoots it lights out from the, from the, what do you call it, the logo? Yeah, I mean, she's like the modern day Steph Curry. You know what's the closest thing she reminds me of? The closest case study. That was an anomaly.
We totally love a humble underdog who's got that fighting spirit. And Caitlin Clark is absolutely nailing it.
We love humble underdogs. We just do. We love an underdog that comes in, that's got a fight, that wants to go out there and do it. And Caitlin Clark's doing it. And she's getting all these eyeballs. And I'm so happy for her to get the $28 flipping million. Stephen A., you're better than this, man. You know, we're brothers. We talk all the time. Dude, this ain't about the color situation that's taking place. This is a girl that came in and garnered more attention than others in the game. So it's not that we're attracted to skin color. We're attracted to dominators.
I was going to say.
Caitlin dominates the game. So what are your thoughts with some of the stuff that's happened? They're complaining. First, they're complaining that they don't get paid enough money. Then a girl like this shows up that's about to increase everyone's pay, and they're still about
One thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch.
Caitlin Clark has been a sensation since she joined the Indiana Fever. But while she may be loved by the public, the same cannot be said within the WNBA. Some players have opened up about who Caitlin really is and urged the public not to be fooled by her. Besides people hailing her as a game changer, many believe she is overly sensitive and not yet ready for professional basketball. Some players even think her popularity is overshadowing others who are also contributing to winning games. But what is it about her that has been fooling the public? Is there more to her that the WNBA has discovered? Join us as we look into why the WNBA has opened up about her and asked everyone not to be fooled by her. For 22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who has quickly become a favorite of many viewers, it's clear that hard work got her this far. However, there are dissenting opinions in the WNBA and claims of dislike toward the Indiana Fever rookie. Caitlin Clark was drafted to the Indiana Fever earlier this year, fresh off 2 record-breaking games and wearing a Prada skirt suit. This received many positive comments, with many hailing her as an NCAA superstar and a game-changer for women's professional basketball. But her first month in the WNBA was rocky because the Fever didn't win many games she played with the team, and it seemed like she was going through some growing pains. A debate grew when Basketball Hall of Famer Charles Barkley claimed that other WNBA players were petty about Caitlin Clark's stardom.
Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes.
How has Caitlin Clark's WNBA experience been so far? And how did she spark these reactions? The best part is yet to come. Stay tuned. Things looked particularly bleak when she scored a season low of 3 points in a game against the New York Liberty. A flagrant foul from the Chicago Sky's Chennedy Carter recently fueled long simmering rumors that Clark isn't getting a warm welcome from her new colleagues. Some say older WNBA players are jealous of how much credit she's being given for the league's newfound attention. Others think this is typical treatment for a rookie with a big reputation, and Clark has been compared to a number of NBA players, including Michael Jordan and LeBron James, whose hyped-up entries into the league were swiftly checked by their fellow players. The official line from most has been that the WNBA is happy to have Clark on board, and that a rising tide lifts all boats. So, are any of these rumors true? Here's what we know. A handful of WNBA greats seem to have a chilly attitude toward Clark. Even before she went pro, some senior WNBA players, including some no longer in the league, made public comments that were interpreted as antagonistic toward Clark. In early April, after Clark broke 2 NCAA scoring records, New York Liberty power forward Breanna Stewart told a reporter she didn't think the then Iowa star could be considered one of women's college basketball's greats because she hadn't won her team a championship. Around the same time, college basketball legend Lynette Woodard suggested during a coaches' convention that Clark hadn't broken her scoring record because they weren't playing under the same rules. Another former player, Cheryl Swoops, attempted to undercut one of Clark's accomplishments, incorrectly claiming that her scoring record wasn't valid because she had been playing for more than 4 years.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record.
Phoenix Mercury guard Diana Taurasi made a comment seen as shade when she was asked about the up-and-coming crop of college superstars, which included both Clark and Angel Reese, during an ESPN interview ahead of the 2024 draft. Taurasi said, "Reality is coming," referring to her future colleagues' entry into the big leagues. She pointed out that you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come play with some grown women who have been playing professional basketball for a long time. She mentioned a transition period during which rookies would have to give themselves grace. Later, responding to the controversy her statement stirred up, Taurasi called fans really sensitive. And then there's Aja Wilson, the Las Vegas Aces star who was accused of being jealous of Clark after tweeting Psalm 37:7, referencing a biblical verse about being patient while others succeed, amid news that Clark was about to sign a record-breaking sneaker deal with Nike. Wilson, who is also signed to Nike and ended up releasing her own sneaker less than a month later, responded to the rumors with another tweet, saying no one is jealous and that the league is hard, so thriving and staying in it consistently is huge. Angel Reese, one of the players, took a subtle shot at Clark in a since-deleted post on social media, while another player, Aja Wilson, said race was a huge factor in her popularity, implying that everyone likes her because of her race. Wilson added more comments that led people to believe Caitlin is not well liked in the WNBA. She mentioned that you can be top-notch as a black woman, but maybe that's something people don't want to see. According to Wilson, people don't see black athletes as marketable, so even if she worked hard as a black woman, she's constantly overlooked. This reinforces her belief that it's about race, and she said, "It boils her blood just thinking about it." A lot of Clark's on-court success has been hindered by relentless defense against her. Sports commentators say, this is typical for a major talent with a lot of attention stepping into the league for the first time. The words target and everyone's coming for her have been thrown around a lot. The New York Post called a painful-looking screen from Stewart the Rookie's latest welcome to WNBA moment, suggesting the rough treatment Clark is getting is normal. Opposing teams seem so fixated on keeping her at bay that one player recently ran over to guard her, not realizing she had a second free throw to take before they could resume. Tensions heightened when the Fever played the Chicago Sky, a team that includes Reese, Clark's fellow star rookie. During the game, which was the Fever's first home win, the Sky's Chennedy Carter hip-checked Clark during an inbound play, prompting outrage from fans who saw it as a cheap shot. Some reports claim Carter called Clark with a foul term just before checking her, while others insisted Clark actually elbowed Carter earlier in the game. Even Clark admitted she was frustrated, saying in a post-game interview that Carter's check was not a basketball play, but that's what basketball is about at this level. Carter declined to answer questions about Clark in a post-game presser, but on Threads, she wrote of the rookie, "Beside three-point shooting, what does she bring to the table, man?" with a laugh-crying emoji. She also reposted a fan video accusing Clark of flopping or deliberately falling to make the incident look more dramatic than it was. Fever coach Christy Sides told reporters after Saturday's game that she has been sending plays where she believes Caitlin Clark was treated unfairly to the WNBA for review. She said, "It is tough for Clark to keep getting hammered and not get rewarded with free throws or foul calls." She followed up by tagging the WNBA on Twitter, saying this is unacceptable and asking when the consistent complaints will be heard. The Fever's general manager, Lynn Dunn, also took to Twitter asking the league to clean up the crap. On Sunday, the league upgraded Carter's foul to a flagrant 1 violation, but did not fine or suspend her. This seems like hating on Caitlin Clark. Face guarding, extremely aggressive play, and the occasional hard foul can be described as competitiveness. The players going out of their way to call her names and body check her to the floor without the ball is definitely hating. These and many other occurrences have generated controversies and reactions from sports fans worldwide. Some, like Sue Bird, believe there is no hate toward Caitlin Clark. Bird said the alleged hate against Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark is just trash talk that's been misinterpreted. She thinks most WNBA players see it as competition, not personal hate. Bird mentioned that Caitlin will be remembered as a pivotal player who made a change, comparing it to when LeBron James entered the league without diminishing Michael Jordan's legacy. Bird believes the competitive talk has been mistaken for hate, and no player truly dislikes Caitlin. She said these when she was speaking during an appearance on The Good Game with Sarah Spain podcast. Becky Hammon, the head coach, also commented on the situation. She said she loves Caitlin Clark and watches her whenever possible. Hammon emphasized that the league supports Clark and that they will focus on their own game regardless of the opponents. She urged people to stop spreading the narrative of everyone hating on Caitlin Clark and to ignore any racial undertones. Hammon acknowledged that Clark is a 22-year-old rookie under a lot of pressure and suggested people ease up on the criticism. After Hammon spoke, Wilson had another perspective on the matter. Wilson, who had earlier been criticized for passing hate comments about Caitlin, said that Caitlin is learning and growing like everyone else. People don't give her a chance, as noted by her teammates. They remind rookies every day that they are entering a new world and starting over. The questions can be annoying because Caitlin is young and new to the league, not a seasoned veteran. They believe Clark is just doing her job, and everyone will improve by focusing on their performance. The conversation about her has become exhausting, and it's clear Clark must feel the same way. Clark herself has avoided making accusations. After a recent game against the Sparks, she mentioned that everyone plays physically with her, and she sometimes feels that certain actions are overlooked. She acknowledged that professional basketball is very physical and emphasized that her job is to continue showing up and helping her team improve as they fight for their first win. When asked about the attention she's received compared to veteran players, Clark said she doesn't follow social media or the narratives. She focuses on her job, which is to compete and play basketball. She believes that more attention on every team can help her get better. NBA star LeBron James, who tweeted in April that those who don't support Caitlin Clark's game are just flat-out haters, recently discussed Clark's situation in the WNBA on his podcast, Mind the Game. His co-host, former NBA player JJ Redick, noted there is definitely some dislike or vitriol from older players towards Clark, adding that this kind of reaction is something they all faced when they first joined the NBA. James, who was also a highly anticipated draft pick and received a major Nike endorsement before playing a game, said he's rooting for Clark because he's been in her position. He highlighted that Clark's impact is contributing to the WNBA's progress, including the league's new private travel program launched in 2023. James and Redick aren't the only NBA players defending Clark. During a TNT segment, Charles Barkley echoed James's comments, particularly about how WNBA players travel. Barkley told WNBA players they should be thanking Clark for bringing private charters, money, and visibility to the league. He advised them to stop being petty and appreciate the boost Clark has given the WNBA. In the background, Draymond Green can be heard muttering that this will likely make people hate Clark even more. Even with the tension towards Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, players didn't appreciate being called petty. Barkley's comments didn't sit well with many. LA Sparks player Derica Hamby retweeted Barkley's rant with a dismissive tone, asking what she was really talking about. Former LA Sparks team member Chini Ogwumike pointed out that every WNBA player she knows supports the rookie class and is thankful for the spotlight and revenue Caitlin Clark and others bring. She added that chartered flights were introduced last year due to safety concerns and increased revenue. New York Liberty player Jonquel Jones expressed interest in knowing who the women supposedly hating on Clark are. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark's fellow rookie, made a notable mention of Charles Barkley's comments after celebrating the Chicago Sky's victory over the Liberty. On Twitter, Reese emphasized that the win was a result of the entire team's efforts, rather than just one standout player benefiting from a charter flight. This post was quickly deleted, and many interpreted it as a subtle jab at Clark. However, Reese's mother, who also has a background in college basketball, later clarified that the message was intended to address media narratives, not to target Clark directly. Robert Griffin also weighed in on the situation, noting that while he typically avoids discussing officiating, the treatment Clark received went beyond ordinary basketball contact. Griffin argued that the physicality she encountered, although sometimes subtle, met the criteria for a flagrant foul due to its severity and intent. In addition to these reactions, the incident has sparked conversations about the standards of physical play in the WNBA and how new players are treated compared to veterans. Another foul incident with Chennedy Carter sparked a further intense debate about Caitlin Clark's treatment in the WNBA. Analysts like former NBA player Matt Barnes have criticized Clark's teammates for not supporting her during rough play. On All the Smoke, Barnes mentioned seeing teammates smirk or half-heartedly help Clark after she was knocked down, questioning why the team is at the bottom of the league and urging them to improve. ESPN's First Take spent much of Monday discussing Clark's situation, with Monica McNutt arguing against general statements about the league's feelings toward her. The discussion escalated into a debate about ESPN's coverage of women's sports, with McNutt telling Stephen A. Smith that he could have been covering it years ago. ESPN host Pat McAfee sparked controversy when he used derogatory language to refer to Caitlin Clark, framing her as the sole standout in the WNBA. His comments drew criticism for being insensitive and offensive. McAfee quickly issued an apology, acknowledging that his choice of words was inappropriate. Robert Little from BSO pointed out a recurring issue with ESPN's coverage of the WNBA, suggesting that the network often provides superficial analysis and fails to look deeply into the complexities of the league. In a separate press conference, Angel Reese addressed the notion that Clark alone is driving interest in women's basketball. Reese contended that the sport's rising visibility is the result of contributions from several players, including herself, and not just one individual. She emphasized that the physical play Clark has encountered is a standard aspect of the WNBA because of the league's competitive nature. Do you think Caitlin Clark is really disliked in the WNBA? What's your take on her performance with the Indiana Fever so far? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. You'll enjoy it.